3 years, $90 million. So thank you, Kyle Lowry, for putting a nice little cardio in.
Deep Dive In Between the Lines, Episode 3, Take 1.
Welcome to Deep Dive In Between the Lines. My name's Mike.
I'm Vinny.
And this is Deep Dive In Between Lines, Episode 3. We're going over the Western Conference Finals, the Eastern Conference Finals, what we thought about it, what we were surprised by, and then the NBA Finals. We're going to put timestamps in the YouTube if you guys want to go to specific topics that we're about to talk about. We're going to go through it all. We're going to go through the bad, the sad, the ugly. We got Big Vinny with us here today. Say what's up, Big Cookie.
What's up, guys? I missed you guys. I'm ready to get back into it.
And I just, I would like to say, I apologize for the heat. I'm sorry. We're going to talk about it, but also sad news, but also great news. You also got elected as the second team for your men's league. You want to talk about that? Talk about it with the fans. This is uncut, uncensored. We didn't even go over this. Second team you got, right? For the men's league?
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, high school, I didn't play a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Coach really sat me. So, I mean, I thought it was always fun to get into going into a men's league and just have fun, man. And second team, it's pretty cool. So,
if you come into this room, there's a big fat head of Vinny, like right over there, that we had for all the high school games. So I just want to say congratulations, man.
I appreciate it.
And in the art of basketball, we're going to talk some basketball. We're going to talk about the Western Conference Finals first. Golden State took it in 5 games against the Dallas Mavericks. I thought Golden State was going to take it in 7. Vinny, do you remember what your prediction was?
My prediction was Golden State in 6.
Golden State in 6. So we both thought Golden State was going to win. Vinny, were you surprised they took it in 5 games? I mean, they looked pretty dominant for the most part, I would say.
They did. But, I mean, I think Luka did everything he could. I think he needed a little more help, though.
Yeah.
Because they let a game get besides them, which you will talk about after.
Yes.
Game 2. They had a 14-point lead going into the half. I don't know. I feel like the interior defense for the Mavs is just not there. If you look at the game Kevon Looney had in that game, too. 21 and 12.
Incredible game.
Obviously, Curry doing his thing with 32. I don't know. I think the Mavs could have definitely played better, but obviously when Golden State gets hot, good luck stopping them.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I agree with that. I mean, here's the thing about Golden State. They go on these crazy runs. Like, I was like talking with my brother. I'm eating a cookie, and before you know it, like Golden State's up by 5. Like, it's just crazy, the runs, and it just goes back to the 3-point shooting. I mean, you got Curry, you got Thompson, you got Poole, even Wiggins. They're all capable. You know, even Wiggins. I don't know what his 3-point percentage from Wiggins wasn't great, but I mean, he shot 46% from the field. I mean, Wiggins had an incredible series. I picked Golden State to win in 7. Because I thought that Dallas would be able to take a game at Golden State in the first 2. I mean, they were up 72-58 at halftime at Golden State. So I'm thinking, here we go. This is the game that they want. They're going to split at Dallas, and then we got a good series. And before I can even sneeze, okay, Golden State goes on a crazy run, and it's 85-83. They're only winning by 2 points. They cut the lead by 15-2. I mean, that's what Golden State can do. And as soon as Golden State won that second game, I knew that this series was over because I knew that Golden State was not going to lose 2 straight games at Dallas. And then it was 3-1. I even thought it could have went to 7 because I thought Dallas could have won Game 5, kind of sneaked it in there, but Golden State wasn't playing around. I said Golden State in 5. If they weren't fooling around, and man, they weren't fooling around. And as you could tell, Matt Keating is not here with us today, but I have to give some props to Matt Keating. He's upstairs with a migraine, so pray for my brother.
Get well, brother.
Get well, Matt. Love you, man. But no, he picked Golden State in 5, and he predicted that Kevon Looney would be an X factor, and boy was he right, man.
He was right on the spot, man.
What'd you think about his performance? Were you shocked? I mean, he put up some great numbers. He put up some incredible numbers.
I was a little shocked. I mean, usually he's the guy who really just gets the boards, passes out, let the 3-point shooters do their thing. But, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, I mean, he dominated the paint. So, I'll give it to him. And the boards.
Yeah. Averaged 10 points, 10 rebounds, 28 minutes played. I mean, he's becoming incredible asset for this team. And the crazy thing is, I was actually thinking about this today. Not that this Golden State team is better than the one with Kevin Durant, but they have pieces around them. Yes. I mean, obviously Wiggins is no Kevin Durant, but you got Jordan Poole coming off the bench better than anyone that they had. I mean, Otto Porter's been a little banged up, but then you got Kuminga coming off the bench. Gary Payton obviously has been hurt, but Matt calls him the mini glove. I feel like he's going to be an incredible asset moving forward. Even Moses Moody, and then Kevon Looney. So they have the pieces. Obviously, they don't have Kevin Durant, but I can see this team being an even more molded team than the one with Kevin Durant. What do you think about that?
I agree. They're more well structured. They got more depth. When you look at the team with Kevin Durant, who really came off the bench? Andre Iguodala? He's still hurt. I mean, what do you mean?
He's like 48.
40 years old, yeah. I mean, they have more pieces off the bench. Very deep team, so if someone needs a break, they'll come in and do their job. And one more point I want to talk about.
Yes.
Jordan Poole's performance.
Yes.
In 28 minutes per game, he shot 63% from the field as a guard.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
I saw you pointing that out. That is amazing.
40% from downtown.
Incredible.
Very efficient. So I'd like to give him props where his credit's due. And also, what was it? Otto Porter, 18 minutes per game, 7 points. That's not bad coming off the bench.
No.
Especially the shoes he's got to fill, and obviously getting the ball running through Curry, Clay. So I thought he played well.
Yeah, I thought he played really well. And speaking of playing really well, Dallas, I mean, Luka dropped 32 points. What was it? 9 rebounds, 6 assists. I did say I thought he was the best player left in the playoffs. To some extent, obviously, we're going to talk about Jimmy Butler going absolutely badonka-donker. But, I mean, Luka did what we thought he was going to do. I mean, we all thought Luka was going to have an incredible series. And even, Brunson, 18 points per game. Dinwiddie, 16 points per game. That's decent. But, against Golden State, they probably would have had to do a little bit more. I mean, even, in a couple of the games, he averaged 18 points, but some of the games he was dropping, 20, 30. So, that means some of the games he probably didn't do his best. But were you surprised with Dallas' performance? Do you think they were going to do better, worse, or do you think just what they did?
I thought they were going to do a lot better.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that Golden State does give up many three-pointers. And if you look at their roster, Luka, Brunson, Dinwiddie, Finney-Smith, Bullock, and Kleber. Kleber? Yeah, Kleber.
Mm-hmm.
He shot, 20... I can't see the thing. We have to cut this out. 26%. Kleber shot 26% from downtown when he normally shoots 41%.
Mm-hmm.
He struggled. I think more three-point help needs to come on the way. I mean, they didn't shoot awful. Don't get me wrong. But after Brunson, Dinwiddie, Luka, there's really nothing much to that roster.
Yeah.
Especially the big man situation.
Yeah.
Not much height. I'm not a fan of their big man situation over there.
No. And that's why Matt picked Kevon Looney to have an incredible series. Because they don't have really that big men. And that's why I thought DeAndre Ayton would just eat them up with the Suns. But, I don't know what happened with that. But even, this is what's weird to me. Four players for the Mavericks shot over 40% from three-point range. But here's the thing. When they make it, they make it. And when they miss it, they miss it. I mean, they shot 2 for 13 in the third quarter of Game 2. And that's when they went on their big run. And that's the problem with this Dallas Mavericks team. They're really good, but they're very inconsistent. They could look like the best team in the world, like they did in Game 7 against the Phoenix Suns, and then they could look like they did in Game 5. So, I mean, they didn't play that awful in Game 5. Not remember what the score was, but just not good enough to beat that. I mean, what I thought was going to happen was I thought Golden State was going to have a couple off games. They really didn't. The one thing I'm very, very nervous about going into the next series, which we could talk about, is turnovers for Golden State. I mean, look at this. Steph Curry in 5 games, 13 turnovers. Jordan Poole, 10, and Draymond, 12. Draymond, 12 turnovers. That's a lot for him.
That's a lot.
There was one game, I think it was he turned the ball over so many times. So I don't think that's going to be bad. I mean, Luka had 19 turnovers. I mean, here's the problem with Luka. He's an incredible talent, but you've seen now in today's day and age, especially you've been being a lot closer to the game, it's a lot more ball dominant. Like, you see a lot more players that are really good with the ball in their hands, a lot more than they used to.
A lot of isolation going on.
They were talking about, for example, Larry Bird and people like Reggie Miller and all those players back then. They were doing good, but their stat sheets weren't incredibly stacked like they were today, because a lot of them didn't have the ball in their hands all the time. And Luka's a point guard, they have him down as, but I feel like he needs like a more true passer on his team, like a more person that can create shots. I mean, Luka's going to create his own shot, but I think that he just had the ball in his hands too much. I don't feel like they have a legit ball handler / passer. I think that's something. I mean, I think Dallas. What do you think Dallas needs to do? Do you think that they can get back to where they were? Like, do you think this was a fluke? What do they need to do to up their resume for next season to get back?
As much as I hate to say it, I think it was a fluke.
Oh.
but there's no shot they lose to the. I mean, they beat the Suns.
Yeah.
Which
I don't. Vinny, I don't know anyone. I mean, obviously there had to be someone, but
it blew my mind, especially with no big man. Ayton didn't even play a lot, so I guess he wasn't.
Who is their big man?
What was it? Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleber. Well, how tall are they? They're 6'8", 6'9". They need to go get a guy who's 6'11", 7 feet. I know DeAndre Ayton actually is not happy in Phoenix. Potentially.
Interesting.
Potentially. Rudy Gobert, unhappy in Utah. Potentially.
Yeah.
I would go all out for one of those big men to play with Luka. Because Luka gets by his defender, breaks him down. He's got nowhere to pass it down low. Because their big men are not athletic.
Yeah.
Not tall enough to go over the defender. So I think it'd be interesting. If Dallas does get a big man, though, I think they'll be right back where they were.
Yeah, I think when I look at this Dallas team, they have the 3-point shooters. Obviously, they're very inconsistent. They have Luka. Like I said, they need, in my opinion, they need a pure point guard. I mean, Luka can still play point. I'm talking about someone that can, like, handle the game well, like, control the game pace, control their pace. They're a little bit slower of a team, but they need someone that can be able to create more 3-point. I mean, Luka knows how to create a shot, but I feel like he's a little bit too ball dominant. They need a bigger man. Especially, I think that will take something off of Luka. The problem is, I don't know what their cap space looks like if they can get these players, but I mean, Mark Cuban, obviously, he wants someone. He wants to be back there. The Western Conference is just so stacked. Luka's still going to be there doing his thing, but I think he definitely needs some help if they want to get back there.
I 100% agree.
Yeah. But you got anything else you want to say about the series? Do you think that Golden State impressed you? Did they play? I think they played a lot better.
They played
a lot better.
More team basketball. If you look at the numbers, 23 from Curry, 18 from Clay, 18 from Wiggins, 16 from Poole, 10 and 10 from Looney.
Wow.
From Looney, Green. Very consistent offense and well balanced. So I think that's what helped them.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Golden State was the most impressive team of the finals, I would say. We got anything more to add before we go on to the Eastern Conference Finals win? I'm sorry.
I'm ready.
I'll take the dagger out.
Ready.
I'm sorry. What's up, guys? I just asked Vinny if he wanted to introduce this one, but I think it's too sad to introduce this one. We both picked this to go to 7. I picked Celtics in 7. Vinny picked Heat in 7. Celtics took it in Game 7 at Miami. This was an incredible series. It definitely had everyone on their toes. I mean, Vinny, I don't know if the wound's still very much alive and all that, but give us your thoughts.
Jimmy Butler, thank you for everything you did.
Want to give him a standing
in a Heat uniform. Jimmy Butler put the team on his back.
I would agree with that.
I performed, beat expectations. He performed great, but the problem was no help. Bam had two games with over 20 points. That was it. Tyler Hero, 6 man of the year. He missed 3 games. Played through an injury. He did not perform well. Kyle Lowry did disappoint me, though, averaging 9 points throughout the series. We just traded for him and paid him $30 million a year to score 9 points in the Eastern Conference Finals. So
how much
thank
did you pay him?
$30 million a year.
$30 million a year? Kyle Lowry's making? For how long?
At the age of 36. 3 years, $90 million. So thank you, Kyle Lowry, for putting a nice little cardio in. Oh, man.
Even going.
Oh, man. But he did exceed expectations this year. They had 8 undrafted players on their roster.
Wow.
That's unheard of.
Yes.
Victor Oladipo coming back, missed the last 2 years. I thought he played well. There was his times. He had his moments, ups and downs. But I think next year will be the Victor Oladipo year. But man, this team, it was a tough Game 7. Down 11 with the minute 20 left. Obviously cut it down to 2. Jimmy Butler took a shot, which I thought was a great shot. I know a lot of people thought it was a bad shot.
I thought it was a decent shot. Al Horford was backing up.
Yeah,
he had an open shot.
No timeouts left. If I'm Jimmy Butler, I'm taking that shot 10 out of 10 times. Obviously, it fell short. Sucks, but you got to move on. Congrats to the Celtics, though. Played great. They did play great. So, I thought Jaylen Brown was... All right, I know Jason Tatum had a great series, but I thought Jaylen Brown was the best player in that series, or on the Celtics.
Yes.
Obviously, what did he average? He
averaged 24.
24. But obviously, the thing about Jaylen Brown, he played outstanding defense.
Yes.
So I'll give him that.
Was he on Butler? Yes. Yeah, he was on Butler, right?
I mean, yes. I thought he played well. 23 turnovers, though.
Yeah, no, that could be adjusted.
It could be. Tatum, 33 turnovers. A lot of turnovers.
A lot of turnovers.
Turnovers were 102
Jimmy Butler
to 80.
only had Jimmy Butler only had 8 turnovers.
Wow.
In 7 games.
Wow.
It's impressive. Very impressive.
So, that's where I'm at with this series going forward. Let me hear what you think.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally watching this, I mean, Miami showed me a lot. I mean, with all of their injuries, I think that they played the best that they possibly could. Even when you look at like the stat sheet, I mean, you only had 2 people scoring in double figures in that whole Miami Heat team. It was really, everyone was banged up. I would say, it was funny, Stephen A. Smith said he thinks the Miami Heat athletic trainer should have got MVP for a couple of the games, because these people are like topping off the bus. They're not even moving half of the time. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they just didn't really have a lot of help. I mean, you could say that Tyler Hero played Game 7, but he only played like 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah. He really didn't play. He tried his best, but just couldn't get it done. Really, Victor Oladipo really only had 9 points. I mean, Gabe Vincent only had 9 points. Kyle Lowry had 9. So they really didn't have a lot of help. I was actually surprised this went 7. Even though I picked Boston to go 7, I was surprised that the Heat was able to push it to 7, and that's mostly because of Jimmy Butler. He was able to do the last 2 games. I mean, hats off to him. I mean, he didn't sit 1 minute in Game 7
or Game 6.
So you have to give this guy credit where it's due. He definitely, in my opinion, had the best series out of anyone in the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference Finals. Jimmy Butler deserves enormous credit, kind of like a Michael Jordan Jr. series, in my opinion. I mean, he played incredible. As a Celtics fan, I was a little disappointed in the performance. I thought that they didn't really play that well. Jason Tatum, 33 turnovers. Jaylen Brown, 23 turnovers. And here's the thing. Closing out games, they're not very good. No. They're not very good closing out games, which I think is going to have a huge factor in the next series. But, I mean, they're a little bit younger. I mean, they have 0 experience going into the NBA Finals. Not one person on the Celtics roster has ever played a minute in an NBA Finals game, which I think is going to have a huge, huge impact, seeing that they have like 123, I think, minutes or something like that for Golden State or something like that. They have a lot more experience. I think that the Celtics should have won Game 6. It shouldn't even went to a Game 7. Draymond Green, I hate you because you basically got the Miami Heat to a Game 7 because they were all pissed at you, and then they were just, you see Adonis Haslam yelling in the camera, Draymond, you did this, what you did. Yeah. They definitely lit a fire under their butt. The fact that the Celtics lost 2 home games kind of makes me nervous a little bit. I mean, I have no idea. They're losing so many games at home, in my opinion. Yeah. I mean, I think they lost only 1 game to the Bucks at home, but then they lost 2 this series. So I think it was impressive going on the road to win Game 7, but I think that they were the better team. I think they were a lot better team, actually. So I think this showed me a little bit more about Miami and their heart. I think if they were fully healthy, I think that they would have won this series.
That take a lot out of you to say?
It's my opinion. It's my opinion. I have to say what I see. In my opinion, I like Boston. I like their players, but I feel like they really didn't do their best this series. I think Miami, even though I'm a Celtics fan, I was cheering for him. You know, at times I was like, you know what? I love Miami's grit. You know, I mean, they weren't giving up. They were not stopping. even though half of them couldn't walk, and that's inspiring to me, you know. So, and shout out to my grandma, Tyler Hero fan. I mean, she's a huge Tyler Hero fan, by the way. So I like Tyler Hero. But do you think Miami will be back? What do you think of in the years to come? Obviously, this is a heartbreaking loss for Miami, but going into next year, the year after, what do you think? Because obviously, Bucks are going to be back with Chris Middleton. You're going to have, who knows what James Harden's going to show up next year. I mean, you still got Joel Embiid, who in my opinion should have won the MVP. Yeah. But what do you think Miami goes from here?
It's tough to tell now because there's going to be so many off-season acquisitions that are going to be very impactful. Like, obviously, the Bucks are getting back Middleton. Free agents out there like Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's a free agent. Bradley Beal, who is on the Heat's radar, which I hope they get. But they don't have cap space, so I think a sign and trade would help them a lot. Yeah. With Tyler Hero cannot play defense, by the way. I don't know if you guys seen, but I'm not a fan of his defense, but obviously he played hurt. It'd be nice to get Bradley Beal or someone like that, but really, I don't know how many more changes they could make because I thought the roster was fine. Very deep team like the Warriors. It's going to be interesting to see. A few free agents here and there, but got the key guys locked up for a bit, so
yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
I was surprised. I think Miami, going into the offseason, they just need to stay healthy. I mean, they were the number 1 seed in the East with everything going on. They're like that. They remind me a little bit like of the Spurs. They don't make a lot of noise. They're not like the big team. They have Jimmy Butler. They have some people, but most of them are talking about, the Bucks and the 76ers and the Celtics. And Miami's always good. People sleep on Miami. I was one of those people for a little bit, but I think they showed me a lot. I think kind of getting one more All-Star, I think that would push Miami over the top because no offense to Miami, but I think that they can get out of the East, but I don't know if this team is built like a Warriors to beat like a Suns or something like that. Not thinking that the Suns going to come out, but I think more of the Warriors. I think that they can add like 1 or 2 more pieces. Like you said, the roster better than I do, but I mean Bradley Beal to me seems like a great fit. But what do you think? What do you think of the Celtics? I mean, Marcus Smart, 24 points in Game 7, really showed out. Al Horford, my condolences to his family. I think he lost his grandfather the beginning of Game 6. And to come out and play the Game 7 that he did, very impressive. But what do you think of the Celtics' performance?
I thought they played great, but they could have played better.
Yes.
They have blown some leads. It scares me. Yes, it scares me, but I think they could get it done. They play great defense, and shout out to Marcus Smart. He played with a sprained ankle the remainder of the series. After Game 3, he got hurt, so I want to give a shout out to him. Yeah. Also, I don't know. I think the Celtics are going to need their bench to step up when the stars get out for. I know the stars don't sit too much. But someone's got to step up for them because this Warriors team will hunt them down. But I think the Celtics are built for the Warriors. They match up great. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, I think this is going to be Tatum's series. I think Tatum is going to... I mean, Andrew Wiggins is a great defender who I think is going to be guarding him. But also Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown and Klay Thompson. I know Klay Thompson's not the same player he was.
Yeah.
But... he's shown life.
Yeah, he is.
He's shown life. I think Jaylen Brown, it's going to be very interesting to see how this Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum go throughout the series. Also, Marcus Smart. If Curry is guarding him, I think Marcus Smart is going to average about 18 per game.
Okay.
That's my hot take.
That's your hot take.
My hot take of the series. Let me hear what you guys say.
So, we kind of went into a little bit, but NBA Finals, Celtics, Warriors starting Thursday night. ABC, Vinny, who do you have in this series? I know you had it Miami Warriors, now it's Celtics Warriors. What do you think? What's happening?
I know you're a Celtics fan, and I respect the team. But I have the Warriors in 6 games. I think the Warriors, they match up well with the Celtics, but I think just the flat-out experience of the Warriors. Yes. They've been here before. They already have 3 titles with Draymond, Clay, Curry. Celtics, no games played in the finals.
That's bad. That's
but
bad.
They're a young team. They're gonna be around for a while.
Yes.
But I'm gonna give the Warriors the upper hand in this one. Warriors in 6.
You know, I just wanted to say, as a Celtics fan, I appreciate it going to Game 6, but I think you're a little bit too easy on them. Warriors in 5.
Whoa.
And this is why I think Warriors in 5. First of all, me and Matt agree. Matt says Warriors in 5. I say Warriors in 5. Wait, Sir, we had a little battery issue. Warriors are still in 5, by the way. And this is why I think Warriors in 5. Experience is huge to me, but I also believe in momentum. And I don't know. I just think this is Steph Curry's year. I know people are talking about it, but I just think Steph Curry, he's going to be on another level in this series, in my opinion. I like the Celtics, but their inability to close games, and here's the thing. I would say Celtics, I would say Warriors in 6, but I think Warriors in 5 makes more sense to me because I think they're going to be on alert because I don't think they want to go to Game 6 in Boston, then back for Game 7. I think they're trying to prove something. I think Klay Thompson's going to be an X factor. I think he's going to have a good series. I think Steph Curry is going to have a good series. And even though the Celtics match up good with them, NBA Finals is a different beast. And as a Celtics fan, I will be cheering for them. But at the end of the day, Warriors are the better team. They have better shooting. You can even, they're number 1 and number 2 in defensive efficiency. The Celtics and the Warriors. So I think the defense is going to be evened out. And I just think that the way that the Celtics are able to play, in my opinion, the Celtics, the last 2 series, they both went to Game 7s.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit banged up. The one thing that I think can push this to a Game 6 and 7 is if the Celtics really make it a more physical game. They're not going to win in a pretty game. 100%. They need to make it. They need to be more physical. They need to go up on people they need to go up on people like Wiggins, on Curry. Make it not a little bit dirty, but they need to definitely, make it not, merry-go-round for sure. So I think Warriors in 5. I picked the Celtics to win at the beginning of the year. I picked Celtics Warriors NBA Finals, and I picked the Celtics to beat the Warriors. But after what I've been seeing, I have to be honest with myself. Even though it's tough, my heart says one thing, my mind says another. Not to say the Celtics can't win. I think this is Steph Curry's series to win or lose. I think that there's been a lot of talk, obviously, with LeBron, and he could have as many titles as LeBron and stuff like that. First of all, Steph Curry is not LeBron, even though I'm not really, fond of LeBron in some ways, as Vinny may know. We might have another podcast about that. And I look, LeBron's a great player, and Steph Curry's a great player, but Steph Curry is not LeBron. I don't care if he wins 2 more titles. It's still not better than LeBron. I'm sorry. He's not the face of this generation. But Steph Curry, I think he needs to show up.
He does.
He needs to show up. Even in the first finals that he won, he played okay. But obviously, Andre Iguodala, obviously a very questionable, finals MVP. And then Durant came and won the 2. He lost a 3-1 lead. But I think that, if Curry can go out, first of all, there's been a bigger topic. I think you know what I'm about to bring up. Top 10. Is Curry a top 10 player if he wins this NBA Finals?
No. No.
Talk about it.
There's just so many guys in front of him, and the league has great talent.
Yes.
For years and years to come.
Yes.
But I don't think he's there. I'm not saying he can't get there.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, he's not there. I can't give it to him.
Top 15, top 20?
I'd consider top 20.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
He's still got years left, though, man. So we don't know what else he could bring. But right now, I consider top 20.
Top 20.
What would you think?
Off the top of my head, in no particular order, MJ, LeBron, Kareem, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan. I don't know if I named them all.
That's just off the top of the head.
That's off the top of the head. That's got to be at least 9 or 10. He's not better than Oscar Robinson. I'm sorry. That's just me. He's not better than Oscar Robinson. He's not better than, what was his name?
Did you name Allen Iverson?
Nah, I think he might be better than Allen Iverson. I would have to go through more of the things.
We'll save that for another time. Don't worry.
The thing about Steph Curry, who are you going to put over him? I mean, that becomes the real thing because, I mean, it all comes down to how you're ranking the players because if you're going to go by accomplishments, it's Steph Curry. But I think we all can agree that Kevin Durant on the team, so Kevin Durant was a bigger asset to the Warriors, in my opinion. I think he was a better player. So it all comes down to that. But I think if Steph Curry wins this, he's at least he's in top 15 if he wins this, and he's the Finals MVP. He's the best player. Because then he could say that he was the best player on a Finals team. I still don't think he could say that yet. But what do you think about that hot take? What do you think about that hot take?
I like it, though.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Curry, though. I think he needs to prove himself in the Finals. He's proven himself before, obviously, 3 titles. But he's never really stood out in the Finals.
I agree with that.
Perfect.
100%.
I love that. So I think if Curry can average maybe 30, 32, kind of what like Luka did last series, I think that's one way. That's actually the best way to prove yourself in the Finals. Obviously, Iggy, he got that Finals MVP, even though, like you mentioned before, it is questionable. But in the last 2 with Durant, and obviously Durant was the best player in those Finals. Dagger after dagger.
Not even
Cleveland. Dagger after dagger.
Yes.
But I think this could be the Finals that Curry proves himself.
I could be wrong, but Raptors beat Golden State, correct? In the Finals?
Yes.
I was sitting on this couch watching that TV, and it was, I believe, I'm not sure, I think it was Game 6. They were inbounding the basketball. They did a screen for Steph Curry. I love watching all these games with my friends. My friends were big Curry fans, and they're like, I knew he was going to miss a shot. That sounds awful, but the thing about Steph Curry, he hasn't proven to me that he can make it when it counts most. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see it how it is. And the thing about Steph Curry is he hasn't been that player. You can say whatever you want about LeBron James. People call me a hater of LeBron James. I'm more of a critic. I still have him top 3 of all time. I think he's one of the greatest players to ever live. He can take over a game, period, whenever he wants. The thing about LeBron James is he can take over a game. He just chooses not to sometimes, what gets me a little bit upset. Sometimes he's a little bit timid and he's kind of around, but he can take over a game. The thing about Steph Curry, he can take over the game one way, and that's by shooting 3-pointers. If he's not making the 3-pointers, he's not that big of an asset to me, at least in the later half of the Finals. And that goes with Klay Thompson, and that's why if they're not making, you live by the 3, die by the 3. And I think with Steph Curry, he's such an incredible 3-point shooter, but at the end of the day, I need to see him take over a game, drop 30, drop 40 in the Finals consistently. If he can come out here and average, if he can put up Luka numbers, because Luka numbers, he averaged 32 points in the playoff game. If Steph Curry can come out and average 30 plus and beat up Boston in 5, I think he deserves it. But I think that Boston can win this series if Curry doesn't show up. But if the Curry, I think, shows up, I think Warriors in 5.
That's a fair take.
Whew, man. I'm talking too much, man. I'm exhausted. Oh, man. What do you think? So what do you think? Warriors in 6? You think they end it at TD
I have Warriors in 6. Yes. It is a tough place to play at, but I don't know. I like the Celtics in this series just because the matchup-wise. I know you had Warriors at 5, even though you're a Celtics fan, which questionable. I thought you'd have Celtics in more, maybe 6 or 7, but 5, that's fair enough. But like you mentioned with Curry taking over a game, he's not driving by Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart is the Defensive Player of the Year for a reason. So unless Curry's running off little down screens, backdoor screens to get Marcus Smart off him, I don't think Curry could have a great series. But if he shows up, gets by, he needs to use more of the pick and roll action with Draymond. That's where he excels. He's got to work on that. Obviously, he's just got to be on. He's got to keep shooting, but he does have to get to the hoop, though.
Yes.
Because he can only impact the game behind the line, and I think if he gets past the 3-point line, starts taking in a little bit more, then the defense, you have to adjust a little bit. so it'll be different for Curry. Scoring-wise, he'll have more options now.
Yes.
But he's got to show me. He's got to have that 30-plus points.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I'm glad we agree on that.
That's
because
awesome.
the thing about Curry, I love what he stands for. He's Christian. I'm Christian. So I kind of want to see him do good, and that's why I kind of have more Golden State in 5, because I do want to see him, overcome that. I think that's one thing on his resume that's missing, and that's that finals kind of stamp that he kind of puts on there. Obviously Kobe Bryant, with the 3, I think he had 3 titles with Shaq. He never won an NBA Finals MVP. Then he had 2 without him. I think he needs those 2 separate ones where we could say Curry was the best player in that series. He won the finals. I don't feel like we can say that yet until the end of this series. I think he takes it. I think Boston will be back. Boston has a great, young, talented squad. I just think the way that I look at it is 0 games experience in the finals. Going in, beating, in my opinion, one of the best Golden State Warriors teams in a long time. I could even make a strong argument, this team against, even the Kevin Durant team. I think the Kevin Durant team wins just because of Kevin Durant. But all the other pieces around them are better. I mean, I think Klay Thompson back then was probably better just because defensively before all of his injuries and things like that. But, I mean, this team is stacked. If Boston can go in on their first final series and take down a 2-time reigning MVP in Steph Curry, a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion, Klay Thompson and Draymond, an upcoming star in Jordan Poole, and the way that Looney's been playing, if they can go in there and beat them, you got to give the Celtics some props. I mean, they took down Golden State. So that's the only reason why I have Golden State in 5. And Matt, obviously, he's upstairs, so hopefully he's feeling better. He has Golden State in 5 as well. You got Golden State in 6.
And also, one more thing I'd like to add.
Yes, please.
Robert Williams.
Okay.
Who I've been high on.
You have been high on. I want to see what you say here.
I hate to say this, but he did shut down Bam. And if you watch those games without Robert Williams, Bam had that 32-point game, and then a 25-point game. Robert Williams is going to be key in this series, defending the paint and shutting down Looney. That's all I'm going to say, and we're going to talk about this again when I'm right about this at the end of the series.
Yes,
I really am high on this Robert Williams. And I think he's going to prove himself during this finals. I'm not saying he's going to be finals MVP or anything. But I think he's going to establish himself as one of the better big men in the league. As long as he stays healthy. I know he just came back from a torn meniscus. He's been playing, a little sore in the knee, which is, obviously, we know this is going to happen. He came back in a month. Yeah. So I got to give props to him right there.
A month?
In a month of a torn meniscus, yes, in his left knee.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a little insane. I think Kevon Looney's not going to have the series that he did. God bless him, he played an incredible series, but I don't see that repeating. I think that Williams is going to have a decent series. I'm excited to watch it. I mean, the ticket sales are going to be insane. If you're a Celtics fan, get out a loan or sell your house, or feed your family or go to the finals. Those are your 2 options. I think it's going for like $750 a ticket for game 1, $800 plus for game 2, and I think game 6 is over $1,000 plus, and that's not even with the fees on and stuff. So, Celtics and Warriors, this is going to be huge. But man, it's been fun, Vin. Love you, man.
Great podcast.
Big Cookie, great having you on, man. Got anything to add before we sign it off?
Nothing much. I enjoyed it. I had a great time talking. We'll see you guys soon.
Yes, man. Deep dive in between the lines. My name's Mike.
I'm Vinny.
God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be right back after the NBA Finals. Peace.
Peace.